I'll try this. You know why this took me 3 days to get the valve cover off? Number one, it rains every freaking day. Number two, it's super hot. And number three, you can't even get to your toolbox in a shitty ass garage. What's the point of having all this stuff if you can't even use it? There is no point. I feel like selling it all. Oh my god, look at this bullshit. Fuck this place. I have to use a breaker, but you gotta take this alternator off. It's so stupid, I know. It's like impossible to fish out the alternator. Maybe with this alternator you can, I don't know. But it's impossible to fish the alternator out with other way. Shouldn't use a ratchet on this, I know. I was going for my breaker bar, but I just live in this fucked up condo and I can't get my breaker bar out of the toolbox when it's only cracked open a slight bit. Yeah, you can't get these valve covers off with this alternator in the way. I did it like so many times. Believe me. There's probably one way you can fish it out, but it's not worth it. Pull the other one? Nah. Oh. Not as dumb as I think. So I thought it was driver's bank. Oh yeah, it was driver's bank. Ziggy nailed it, and Radio Wild. Ziggy said it first though. Yeah, it's probably a wipe lifter. Open it up, this thing's all crooked. Push rod I just removed. So that would be cylinder 3, intake. So I wiped the cam. It hasn't ran very long. I don't see any real shavings. I don't know. And this is probably why too. I noticed when I ran it, like around here. I shouldn't have done that. But I could have shot a freaking push rod right to the valve cover. But luckily it didn't inject. But I was noticing lower than normal oil pressure. That makes sense. Because right, you have oil feeds going to those lifters. That thing's really not doing anything. You have oil that shoots up between here and that little hole in the rocker arm. So it probably was just bleeding, right? So I'm probably losing, it's probably down maybe like 10 psi from what it normally was. Wouldn't that cause like a massive oil leak? And probably would explain that. I don't know, 50-50 chance you can just throw a cam in this thing and it'll live. I don't even know, this is my question though. Like, I just take this rocker arm off, am I safe to actually even drive this thing in the garage? Or should I try to fish out the lifter that's in that hole over there? You can actually kind of get to it right there. I see it right there to the hole. That's a 5/8, so I gotta get that off. But that's my issue. Alright. Get to know, get to know, get to know. Not the bottom, man. Not a connecting rod like my bonehead ass thought. Something simple. There's my valve springs I put on back in 2006. I think they're ZZ4 valve springs. You see the paint lines? I had no idea if you're supposed to line up those paint lines or something. I just put them any old freaking way. And I had rotators in the exhaust valve, and I removed them. And I think I used the stock retainer on those because they actually worked and they were the same height. But I changed the retainers on the exhaust because they had rotators. And this is actually set up right now for a LT1 cam. It will have enough lift and everything. The springs would suffice for it. And that's why I did it. And who knows, maybe we'll go roller and I have a truck back for cheap and actually will last for a little bit. I don't know. Should really just rebuild the whole thing, but I don't know. That's our deal. We wiped the cam finally. Oh man, Whitey. I'm thinking all that extended cranking. I don't know. No oil pressure. Maybe that's what did it in. But I did have a freaking tick on this thing, and it was running rough for like the last year. Like it would just boom, 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 boom. I feel like I almost had like a dead cylinder at times. And that could have been it. Oil's still clean, everything. But thank you everyone who commented, and Ziggy, he nailed it, man. And Radio Wild. I don't think this fucking Radio Wild's cool. I gotta show him my radio. I don't think if I just tighten that up though, that's almost at the end of its pressed in stud anyway. That isn't gonna do shit. And this push rod too is indeed bent. So you can feel it in your hand. Yeah, it's just slightly waved. You see it when you roll it in your hands, like what's right about there. What I also need, if I go roller, I need to measure this. I need precision measuring tools. I believe because roller lifters are longer on a Chevy. I mean, yeah, roller lifter. I had that right. Roller lifters are longer on a Chevy. I need the dog bones. I'll get them. And then the push rods are shorter. because the lifters are longer. The flat tappet lifters are more shallow, so they have longer push rods. But look at the oil bake on that. See, it's cheap oil. That was on the other side. But clear? Clear, no shit in that either. You can't even see no light, but trust me, it's clear. So I need shorter push rods. I need the dog bones. I need the hardware and the cam button, and I'll need a roller style timing chain. Has a different gear on it. I have a flat tappet timing chain, which is not very old. Alright, let's take this shit off, 5/8. We can run with the valve that's shut all the time. Intake, and luckily it's just the intake. The exhaust valve, so at least even that cylinder, the exhaust valve opens, spits out the shit. You know what I'm saying? Intake valve, you know, you can't get any fuel in there or nothing. It's just going to be a dead hole. That's actually not too bad. Think about it that way. Let's go back to our horrible condition thing, which we really can't get into. But yeah, luckily it stopped raining. That took 2 seconds, and it took 2 days to do that shit. I don't freaking know. Yeah, so that's our deal. Cam swap. Come over the condo land if you want to do a cam swap. I'll accommodate you at the most finest, loudest place. Is that a 5/8? 11/16. The link goes 5/8, right? Pretty sure. 5/8, one less than 11/16. Yes, it is, buddy. Last time I used that 5/8 socket was probably on that freaking that rocker arm. I think I can use the same rocker arms if I go roller. This truck's shit freaking buggy. That's what it is with a roller cam. Shit. Some wrenching actions. Alright. Hey, my friend is moving to Florida soon. Hey, can I borrow your house and haul my truck there and do a cam swap? No, annoy the shit out of them again. These are supposed to be like couple only times. These 5/8 things, I used them many times. They're thread distorting. You see the mark? They're thread distorting. And then you have a ball in there. Like that's just your pivoting little hole. And then your rocker arm. Doesn't look too banged up. Tip looks a little worn out. Go for some new stamped steel. I think those are 1.5. Rockers. Yeah, I don't think that thing just got loose. I don't know. Should I try tightening it up? What do you think? I'm gonna put it all back together just so the valve cover's on. But this is a problem because when we want to use this thing now, you gotta move this. Now we got kind of a boat anchor over here. I was thinking about buying a winch, like one I could put in the concrete over here. They're pretty cheap. And they're only like a 1,500 pound one. Yeah, 1,500. And then put an extension. If it's not long enough, you can get an extension winch harness. Drill it into the freaking concrete, 2 holes, who cares? And then I could push this thing in and out and just winch it in the garage. If I move this car and this car and I roll this thing back in neutral, I can squiggle this car out. That's my plan. So, okay, not as bad as I thought. Hopefully I didn't fry the oil though, and the oil looks pretty freaking clean, man. It might be, you know, you gotta drop the pan anyway. If you take the timing cover off, might as well flush it out good. Maybe check all the any loose rods or something. That's the deal. Alright, I answered my own question. Thinking about that, yes, my friend said the same thing. Said you leave this shit out, you could eject the lifter, and you're gonna have a massive, like, low oil pressure situation. So, my ghetto ass plan right now is to make the thing run, and can I just get a longer push rod for now? That kind of fits in there with the collapsed ass lifter. Can I just buy one? They're like literally about $1, $2, and just cram it in there just so I can move this thing quietly, quiet enough, without the risk of more damage. Might do that. just so it's able to move. Right now, that's what I'm just without that horrible sound, and it won't eject the lifter in there. So that's my thought about that. Because you can get these custom sized. They really are not that expensive. I probably had about that much slack, and then I was able to just turn this. So yeah, just freaking estimate. Or just I'll throw it back in there and try to measure the distance between the ghetto measure like this and that cup over there. And it should be close. Just so I can run it. What about one? I don't think those adjustable ones you can use for much time. That's really made for running, so you can get the distance. Yeah. I don't know. Just so it runs, not for use, but just to get it, put it around here. I gotta think about this. I need some precision measuring tools. Alright, leave that over here. Hopefully nobody uses anything and knocks the $100 worth of tools over here. And we'll be fine. And keep my washers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, good. Alright, let's roll. Now I can sleep better tonight. No, what's wrong with me? Oh, Whitey. We'll fix you up. It up now with a little dish soap. But that is interesting. It's a lot darker on the lifter side, but then again, that's where the oil bake was. That's a hotter part of the engine. Is that like heat damage? This from age, 28 years. It's not mushroomed overall too bad. But it's definitely bent. I said I did have those other springs in there. Maybe this one was too tight. Maybe the lash was off. Over a period of, oh, Porsche 911, cool. Period of years, I don't know. Just cram it back in there, tighten it up. Slightly longer push rod, just so it moves without that massive oil leak. And that explains why, again, like I said, why I was losing oil pressure. Because that thing was probably flopping all over the place. The lifter moved. It didn't move much in idle, but when I was revving it, like driving it from here, I did a whole circle. That's when I did it. Now I ain't doing that again. Fuck no. I'm not making damage worse. I'd almost like to see if the thing's just totally flat, the cam lobe, or was just the lash too loose. And all that bad starting just freaking ejected. I don't freaking know. That was his last straw. It was ticking. I don't know. I did not try to put this in. There's too many people walking around now. I gotta do this shit at night. I'm gonna report my ass. But I didn't check if I can just throw this back in and tighten it. Then again, plan of a slightly longer push rod for now. Just to get it working and not have that huge oil loss. You know, I'll spend the freaking $5 to $7 and do it. Think? Alright, comment below. Help out a bro in condo land. Look at that paint job. Oh my god. And people will junk these things when this shit happens too. Unbelievable. How dumb can you be? Stupid. You fix your stuff.